All right, guys, Al Beltran here with Treasure Coast Live and eXp Realty. And I have two heavy hitters here from the Treasure Coast. We have Richie Colletti, owner of Leak Busters Roofing. Just got named or voted, who was it, the TC Palm?
Treasure Coast Palm, yeah. Treasure
Coast Palm, #1 roofing company on the whole Treasure Coast. And we also have Ryan Holt with Holts Reliable Garage Door Repair, and he was rated #1 garage door company on the Treasure Coast. So some huge heavy hitters here. Welcome, guys. Thank y'all for being a part of it. So we're just gonna get into a little bit about their business, a little bit about the story, so you guys can know a little bit more about these guys. So really, this is something I think about all the time, is when I made the choice to work for myself and start something. You know, Richie, like, what was going through your mind? And I knew you at this time, so I'm really curious about this. Like, what was going through your mind when you said, you know what, I'm gonna start a roofing company?
Well, first off, it was because I was completely unemployable. I was the worst employee ever. Like, I just didn't take orders from anybody, and if I wasn't in charge of the whole show, then it just didn't work out, and then I butted heads with whatever company. Now, don't get me wrong, I have worked for people that I got along with, but at the same time, I didn't have any say or I didn't have control over the situation, and being the control freak that I am, you know, I decided that it was probably a good idea to be able to be in control of my own destination. So that was one of the deciding factors for me, was to get my license, to be able to do what I wanted to do and make the decisions and be the shot caller. So, I mean, that was kind of really what I wanted, what I needed.
Yeah. Were you scared? Did it feel right?
I was drunk most of the time, so it didn't really matter. I didn't really care. I was like, yeah, let's start a business, you know. So I mean, it was, you know, it wasn't perfect when we started, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and I always say, I laugh because like my original goals in business was to make more money, to have bigger parties. Yeah. That was like, you know, one of the things. I wanted to be in control, but I also wanted to make more, you know, I wanted to make more money to have bigger parties, and that was kind of one of the things that got me going at first. And, you know, I guess a little bit of fear here and there. I mean, it was an uncharted territory for me. You know, not used to having the big bills come in and all that other stuff. And that was, you know, a little nerve-wracking. How am I going to pay the bills at the end of the week? How am I going to afford this? How am I going to afford that? How am I going to get a new truck? How's payroll going to go? So those fears always did, you know, come in the beginning for sure, because a lot of times we didn't know.
But you pushed right through them, though.
You pushed right through them, yeah. You did whatever you had to do, and then, you know, just learning how to sell more work and drive more revenue to the company. That's kind of where it started there. You know?
Yeah. Like, pushing through those fears, man, that's kind of one of the things that so many people get up to that point. They're like, oh my God, I can't handle that fear. And go back to your boss that probably doesn't treat you that good or doesn't agree with the way you want to do things. And sometimes you know, just thinking that you want to do something, just thinking that you know how to do it better, I mean, you have faith that you were right and you did it, you know? Yeah. How about you, man? Like, were you in the business before you started it, or like when did you make that call?
So I've been in the garage door business, it's pretty much second gen.
Okay.
Growing up as a kid, my mother and my father were in the garage door business, and you know, sitting around the table, driving down the road, all we heard was garage doors, this, that, and then I got to work with him.
Okay.
You know, be hands-on, helper, and then as I grew into more of a man, I got to have bigger responsibilities. They opened up their garage door business in, I want to say, 2003, and then they sold it and moved.
Okay.
And then I moved up to Maryland, up north, and I worked for one of the biggest garage door companies worldwide. Worked my way up, moved away, came back, started at the bottom, worked my way back up, and then I decided to move back home. I worked for another garage door company. I just came to the conclusion where I was tired of building other people's destiny. And you know, growing it and putting in all my effort and just getting treated like I was just a grain of salt, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I started my business, to make a difference for not only myself, but to make sure that whoever I bring on board, if we're the right fit and we're the right team, we're all gonna make it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I learned, is to treat my employees with respect, Without my employees, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So I want to make sure that I always take care of them.
You know, I mean, all that experience shows. I've had a couple interactions with your business, man, and it's like, I could say seamless.
Yeah.
This is what's wrong. Dude's gonna be there to check it out. This is how much. This is when we're gonna get it done, and it gets done like,
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, but how much did he charge you to come out and look at it?
Oh yeah, you know, that goes into it. Like, when you refer somebody, like, would you refer them just because they're part of a group that you're in, or would you refer them just because you happen to know them, like, or like, do you ever feel obligated to refer to someone that you don't 100%?
Absolutely not. I never feel obligated.
I had that kind of, like, I never wanted to be pushed to have to refer somebody unless I know what kind of business they operate.
I am the same. I got a referral for a company, and I mean, the experience, and I'll never mention any names, the experience, that's when I got referred to you by a name. Yeah, dude. So I had somebody to come out. They said, before I look at it, you pay me this much. Before we even look at it, I was like, well, I mean, do we know what's wrong with it? Like, how much, you know, like, it was just, it didn't feel right. And then, so I was like, hey, hold on a second. And then my buddy was inside. He was like, dude, who's out there? Call my boy. He's like, dude, I'm on vacation. I can get somebody there in a couple minutes. He was in the Keys, had somebody come, check it for free, tell me exactly what's wrong with it. Tell me how much it's gonna be. I got the stuff in my truck. I can do it right here at this time. This is, and you know, I mean, it's not common. People, you guys work with businesses all the time, and I know a lot of people. Man, I've been waiting for 2 weeks. This was supposed to get done. Somebody was supposed to be here. So that's one thing. I mean, the experience really, really shows. There's a reason why you guys
Our best of the best.
you got voted best of the best. Like, I'm honored to be here with you guys right now, you know, because that's my goal with what I do is, you know, to be the best. And every day I try and I have goals and slowly hitting them. But yeah, number one, thank you guys so much for taking your time to be here with me, you know. So Richie, let me ask, is there anything that, I'm sure there's lots, that you know now about the business or being in business for yourself that you wish you knew when you first started? Don't take too long. You're gonna one, maybe two things. I know there's a lot.
Okay, yeah. First off and foremost, it isn't as easy as it looks. Like it's never as easy as it looks. You may look at your idiot, ignorant boss and think, you know, if he can do it, I can do it, and that's not necessarily true at all times. Yeah. It depends on who that ignorant idiot has around him that helps him run that business. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I've learned is have the right people around you. Always strive to be the dumbest person in the room and make sure that you hire people that are there to take your job. That if I would have knew that from the very beginning, that would have helped me out greatly, because before, and I've always wanted to be the one that, like I said earlier, I wanted to be the one to be in control, and that was my control issue that I had, and I tried to do everything myself because I was the best at everything, and then that's what slowed down and stunted my growth. So there's that, and then there's also systems and procedures that I did not know existed because I was a salesman and I was a tradesman. I was out there doing the roofs, and then I sold the roofs, and there's a whole lot more involved in running a business. You know, all the systems and processes and procedures are the most important part. So if I would have had, you know, and I did, it took me 2 to 3 years into business to even learn what a CRM was, or have different programs to keep track of our customer database and be able to do estimates efficiently and stuff like that. And I didn't know it. And that was... Where'd
you learn that stuff?
Trade shows. I go to every different trade show I can imagine, and you know, obviously you get there and you see the people on the stage or whatever, but at the time they got a lot of vendors, and I went around and I spent, in the beginning I went to all these things by myself because I felt like going with a group of people was always a distraction. And even now when I go, I break off from the crowd and I go and individually talk to each booth to figure out what they have to offer, what kind of technology is out there that can make me better. Yeah. And that's how I've grown over the years, by getting better and better technology. Every time I go to another trade show, I'm able to find something that works a lot better to maybe improve us or save us some time. Time is money.
And that kind of goes back to, you know, and to not trying to be the smartest person. You're humble. You know that there's more out there. You know you got to learn. Well, it's where it starts.
Yeah, definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed.
You know, it's funny, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs that I do know that do amazing, you know, usually, not always, but a lot of times aren't the best employee, you know, and I think there's some type of edge in your mind. Once again, it's not good to think that you can do something better than everyone, but we all kind of got it in our head like, man, you know, if I did it like this and like this and like this, and it was my business, holy cow. And not only from being there, but having the guts to know it's gonna be hard, to know that you're gonna have to learn.
You have to be a little dumb. You have to be a little dumb to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You have to have, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be dumb enough to be able to actually think that you can do it.
Yeah,
Or
like
believe
I get
that
it.
you can do it.
I get
you
it.
know, and some people that are too smart and they overthink everything that's going to slow them around. That's why smart people are always working for people like me who dropped out of school.
Yeah.
Because they're too afraid. They calculate everything.
Risk it first. Like,
Yeah,
for
they
me,
assess the risk. Yeah.
I just, like, I'll jump.
All right,
You
start a
know,
business.
somebody brought that
Go
up
to
to
the
me
West
the
Coast.
other day, you know, they were like, dude, I mean, like, you don't care. I'm like, well, it seems like it's gonna make sense. Let me stop trying to talk me out of it.
Yeah,
You know?
just dumb enough to think it's gonna work. And,
Man.
make it happen and figure out how, you know.
And then, how about for you, man? I know in, like, business specific, like, what do you know now that when you first got started, if you would have known that, you would probably be light years ahead?
Well,
If you would have known me.
yeah, no, I mean, it's the truth. I mean, surround myself with people and get uncomfortable. Be comfortable to get uncomfortable.
Yes.
Some people, or even myself back in the day, I was kind of more scared because I was like, I don't want to be the dumbest person, which is what you were saying. And now, being around other entrepreneurs that are better than me and doing better than me, they have amazing advice, like Richie.
Yes.
You know, I wish I would have known more about the processes. Write it down, put it on paper, and then follow it.
Yeah.
So when I first started, I was just, boom, I did everything by myself. Answering the phones, scheduling, working, everything. I should have delegated all those responsibilities, and then I would have grew a lot faster.
Yeah.
I should have started my business a long time ago. However, I don't want to say that because I'm thankful for all of the experience and knowledge that I encountered to make it to that point. But yeah, I definitely, surrounding yourself with other people and asking questions and listening, and then taking that advice and actually implementing it is what made a difference.
Like,
I could tell myself it all day, but if I hear it from somebody else, it's more.
Yeah, man, that's so strong, man. And one of the reasons I'm here next to you guys, like, I look up to what you guys have done with your business, you know, and every time I'm around you guys, I'm more fired up, I learn nuggets, and I take it to heart. Since the last time we've been together, you know what I mean? I've made some leaps, you know, and I've had goals, but I've put my head down on them even more. But so that to me, that's huge. And really, if you think about it, both of you guys, it goes back to the same. It's kind of a sense of humbleness, you know, it's a sense of knowing that, hey, I'm not the best, you know, and I want to learn, and I want to be around people that want to learn, so I definitely get it.
I've always been told you are who you hang with.
Yeah.
You know, that circle that you have.
That took me
Me too, man. And I'm still to this day trying to find the right crowd. Because a lot of people aren't who you think they are. And you get to find out these things, and you get to be like, you know what? You choose your circle wisely, and you help build that circle.
When I was young, I used to always want to like have people that I could help. Or be like, oh, my mother and my girlfriends would be like, why are you hanging out? Well, I'm doing the right thing. They need advice, they need assistance. But I mean, it was like
Nature.
Yeah, always has been, man. So yeah, guys, like being in business, it's a lot of fun. You get to use your creativity. There's a lot of great times, but let's talk about a time to where one of your biggest roadblocks, challenges, even like a failure, something that, put you in a place. And I'd like to know what you were thinking, number one, what it was, and kind of what went through your mind and how you got through it.
I can start with this one. I got a whole list of stuff that I failed at. Do you want this week or do you want overall?
Exactly.
No, it's a constant goal is to make as many failures as you possibly can in business, because if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. So, but early on in business, not knowing, again, like we talked about the processes and systems and procedures, which I didn't know about. So I didn't know. I knew sales, I knew production, I didn't know anything about the back end of the office, and not having the right people in the right place at the right time.
I think I remember.
Yes. So not watching what was going on, not being able to know my numbers or be able to calculate what was going on, just having trust and faith that everything was working on the back end. Somebody put me seriously in debt. Over $750,000 was embezzled and sent out.
$750,000, bro?
Or more. That was pretty much what I got tally of. That was kind of the debt I had. That doesn't count all the profit that went out the window. I don't really know the exact number, but it was well over that, because I was stuck with $750,000 in debt. And it was embezzled, and just not knowing how to do that. I did learn at that point really quick how to really start to read my numbers, and that's basically where I was involved with different types of coaching programs and stuff. Never really I had like a sales coach when I first started, which was okay, but I didn't really have like a business coach where somebody that like I could bounce my ideas off of, or tell them what I was facing in the day and then have them. So it took me until after that before I really started paying people to teach me how to do this. Like, hey, I need to know how to, how do people protect them? How do people have multiple offices? Because me, I say, oh my God, I got to be here and watch every single dollar that comes in and out of this business. How can I do this and then grow? I can't. How do people? So there was people out there that had multiple offices and stuff like that. So I started seeking out them, paying for coaches and having them teach me how to read my numbers. Now I can scroll down and I can see right off the bat, like if somebody stole materials or we undercharged, or there was money that wasn't collected. I mean, I could just look at the numbers real quick and I could scan down and see what's going on. That taught me how to do it, but it still left me. I'm still $750,000 in debt. And then that's when I had to really like learn some new different. You always got to like evolve in your business. Like, I had to learn. Like, I was afraid of the insurance industry, but I had to learn it because there was twice as much money involved in the insurance industry. So I had to get into the insurance to be able to do that. And at that point, right as I started realizing that we were coming down from a Hurricane Irma. All of my profits, everything was smoked. I was $750,000 in the hole after a hurricane, probably one of the only roofers in Florida that happened to. Everybody else is driving Lamborghinis and buying beach houses, and I'm paying off debt, luckily we got some big hailstorms at that point when I started figuring it out. So I was able to learn the insurance at an accelerated rate through some of the programs that I bought, and through the programs I was able to hire some of the right people, and then I just really got out there, pulled up my sleeves and ran out and started knocking on doors and beating down the phone, calling people, talking to everybody I could about, hey, you need help. I'm here to help you. Let's get, just so whatever I could do to drive the revenue, and then I just ended up like reconsolidating loans and paying, doubling down and paying down and paying down and paying down, and every dollar I got, I paid it down as fucking, picked one supplier. And
how many people in that situation would have just folded and went back and got a job, bro?
That's what a lot of my suppliers said. A lot of the suppliers gave me a lot of credit because I got like millions of dollars worth of credit now, because they know that in that particular point in time, I came out of, my first year in business was so in debt with this, one particular company. They were like, what do you got worth of value? We need something from you. You got a house or any Rolexes or cars? And I had nothing. And all I did was I made some arrangements, you know what I mean? I just got in there, and every time I did a job, I'd pay them extra, a couple $1,000s extra on every single job until eventually it would get caught up. I would get a couple bigger jobs, take all of the profit, whatever I needed to live. Luckily my living expenses were low, so, I could skim a couple $1,000s off the top, pay my bills, and then the rest of the money I just had to like, some pay everybody down, and I paid everybody down, and now they're like, wow, dude, everybody else would have went bankrupt.
Yes, I'm saying.
It was so much easier to go bankrupt. In fact, I had one of my consultants that I actually fired. He was trying to get me to go bankrupt. He wanted me to go bankrupt, and then he also wanted me to try to sell my business and go work for somebody else in my own business.
Oh,
and I turned it down, even 600,000 by then in debt. I still turned down $3 million for the company because I knew that there was a longer. Once I knew the system and it was all clear. Like once I figured out that process and that procedure, I was like, so easy.
Yeah,
like I can make $3,000. I can make $3 million in a year.
Yeah.
Like why would I sell my business for that and work for this guy?
Yeah.
You know, and that. You know, once you know how to do it, you know how to do it. Once you know how to make the money, you can always go make the money. You know, and I could start over anywhere and do it again.
That, dude. And I hear that from you know, I listen to entrepreneurs and people that have made it, but that's a very common thing, you know, that you hear. It's like once you've done it, you know, it's really not even the money is a part of it, but it's the knowledge that you've accumulated up to that point is where the value is, because you can do it again. Like somebody could take everything away from you, you know, and you could do it again. So not only you learn to vet your people a little better, I guess, but still, even then, you can only do so much. But like the double down insurance on that was the systems to watch the people just in case.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of checks and balances and stuff like that. Once you know how to read your numbers, you can spot it. You know, I went months and months and months without even knowing what was going on, just having the faith that everything was being done properly. You know, the bills were getting paid, the guys were getting paid, you know. And now it's on a weekly basis. I want to know where I'm at. Of course, I got better people that aren't going to steal from me, and they have incentive not to steal from me.
But they can.
Yeah, they can. Like, because I can know on a weekly basis. I have like a weekly snapshot. I know we know how many jobs we sold, how much money we collected, how many materials went out, how much labor went out.
Awesome.
So it's like on a weekly basis, you know that. And then, like I said, even on a job basis, I can look and see, hey, there was too many materials on this job. Hey, there was too much labor on this job. What happened? Figure it out. Oh, there was a change order I wasn't charged. Okay. Well, you figure it out. I can figure out what's happening on the job based on the
and
numbers.
that's the foundation of your business.
Yep.
You know, it's like, you know, it's easy little comparisons like building a house. You can build a house that looks beautiful, crappy foundation that's all cracked, on crooked, thin. All that prettiness, that's just what it is, just prettiness. You know what I mean? So I guess, you know, it goes to show where your business is at today and where it's going to continue to go.
Yeah.
And so, how about you, man? Like, I'm sure you've run into even something smaller, just one day or something that just made you go like, oh man, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, one of my hardest obstacles was probably delegating responsibilities, and I was trying too hard to pump the brakes. I was trying to stop the growth because I was scared. And the reason why I was scared was because I was listening to other people's mistakes. Like, oh, don't do that. It was nothing but a headache, or it was nothing but a nightmare. And that's what put me on pause. So what I started doing was studying other people's failures, so that I can make sure, or at least do my best to not encounter those failures. But my biggest thing is I try too hard to pump the brakes. I should have hired a long time ago. I should have wrote down the processes a long time ago. And I'm only 2.5 years, almost 3 years in, so I'm still have a lot of learning to do and a lot more failures to encounter. But as far as that, I did a really good job of studying other people, learning from their mistakes.
Huge, man. So, you know, business, wouldn't say it's up and down. You got your tough times, but now, tell us a little bit about, I know right now, Richie, Awesome Youth, you got a whole other branch, or what's going on the west coast of Florida? Tell me.
Well, I was challenged by one of my coaches.
Nice.
So the hurricane hit, and I was going to go over there, and my coach has a West Coast operation over there, and my plan was to go over there and work for him and make some money real quick and still keep my office here. And he basically was like, no, sorry, I'm not going to hire you. And I was like, what do you mean? Why would you do that? Like, you're hiring people from all over the country right now, hundreds and hundreds. Why wouldn't you hire me? And he said, he felt like it would be doing me a disservice. He said, you're so close, you should open up an office. But you probably can't really do that anyway. You know, so just that little, you probably can't do that anyway. And I was like, Oh shit. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to now. So it became like a challenge to me, like to see if I can go over there basically with nothing and start something up and get it up and running. I did. I got it. I was able to lock down some warehouse space. I got some really cool office space and nice. It looks really nice. Really cool.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures.
Old bank. I mean, we got a few $1 million on the board already. We from me being there by myself was it almost just under 3 months now, maybe between 2 and 3 months. I got 17 sales reps. I got 3 full-time office people. I got 2 project managers. Just hired another production manager.
Nice.
Operation manager from Katie goes back and forth and helps me kind of oversee everything. And it just we're buying a house this month, so that way we don't have to spend money on rent. So it's just like.
Yeah,
just
took the lead, bro.
Yeah,
I love it.
It just did it, made it happen, and just and it just took a lot of balls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it. I had to make. When I was at first 2 weeks, I was like, I'm just gonna go. Maybe I'll just go over there and help out a little bit. Get that satisfaction, and you get satisfaction of helping people after the storm. We were doing the tarping and stuff like that, and I was like, all right, I'll do a little bit of that. Make a little bit of money and get out.
Yeah.
And then I just. The challenge. The challenge was there. I needed the challenge. This, Fort Pierce is pretty much running itself. I have to help a little bit, very little bit, but I don't know anything that's going on in there right now. You can't ask me nothing about anything that's going on in there.
Yeah.
So, and I found myself, with really nothing to do over here at certain points, and it was just something that I wanted to do.
Oh, man.
And then I feel like, the only way to really make a good impact is to help other people. Right, so now we got damn near 25, 30 people over there that are all going to be making their goals this year. You know what I mean? Like I got people that, when I hire people, what's your goal? What's your financial goal? What do you want to make a year? Then my job is to figure out how to help you make that goal. So it was my opportunity to be able to change lives,
Yeah, it's nice to kind of, you have that fire at first, but then, what you're saying right now, that's like what continues the fire.
Yeah.
Because you're hitting your numbers, you're doing your stuff, you're growing, you are, but to be a part of other people's success and goal hitting, man, that seems like that's a new fire for you that's keeping you pushing.
Honestly, I could hit my goals here. I don't need a whole lot to live. You know what I mean? I had it down to a science. I could do, 5 jobs a week, and I'm right where I need to be. I don't have to work that hard. But then it's just other people that I was in contact with, the people that worked for me that had these goals. That this one wants to make this much, this one wants to make that much. And the way my business model was, at the point where I was at, wasn't big enough to support their goals. So I had to make some kind of a move. Yeah, we made moves and we drove some revenue over here, created some more sales people over here. They would have made it. It would have just took a couple of years for them to get it. So this was an opportunity for everybody that was involved with me closely to be able to come in and achieve what they needed to make and for me to fulfill that that desire to be able to lead people better than I find them. Lead people in places better than I found them.
So how about you, man? Like, where are you going? I know you're going through some growth right now as well.
Yeah, man, this whole year has been nothing but growth.
Love it, man.
And I mean it, because in January of this year, I only had myself, my wife, and one other tech.
Wow.
And now we have 8 people on payroll.
Nice,
8
dude.
People. Yep.
That's epic, man.
And that's just a matter of this year that we've done it, and that's just all because I just stopped trying to fight it.
Yeah.
I stopped listening.
Faith, bro. Faith. You knew, we talking about balls, man. You know what?
It was just a matter of listening. I met Richie. We started to click in and stuff like that. So obviously he's very successful in his business, and he's very smart when it comes to business. Watching mentors online or YouTube. Mm-hmm. I've always had it, but I was always just an employee. But now it speaks to me even more. Yeah. So it was always building up, and now I'm just there.
Ready to grow. As it grows, you're saying you're just feeding them.
I'm just going to keep going. That's it. And just make sure that I surround myself with the right people and have the right people working for me. And you know, my wife, she's a big part of it too. She told me to get this CRM program.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you know, I'm good. We're doing great. And then we got the CRM program, and I mean, I could operate my entire business off there.
Yes.
Like literally the profits and just everything.
Is that like what text me?
Yeah.
Dude, this, it's epic, man. And I'm with KV Core, which is one of the things with EXP, it's included, you know, and I'm learning, dude, having a CRM is epic. And you brought it up earlier before. I mean, you put somebody in there, tell them, you know, what they're interested in, tell them what you talked about. It'll tell you, say, hey, I want to call them every 2 weeks. I want to call them. Can you shoot them a text? For you, what his does, as soon as I tell them the issue, hang up the phone and get a text. So-and-so is going to be there between this time, this day. And then they tell me when they're on their way. Like, I mean, it's like.
So, yes, but I'm actually going to improve that even more.
Okay.
We're going to do headshots. And then we're going to do a bio. So the customers, not only are going to know their name, you're going to know a little bit about them.
Oh, so wow. They're going to be in your house. I guess that's
so you're already going to kind of get the feel of what they like to do on their hobbies and their free time.
Oh, wow.
You're going to see a picture of who it is. And we also download another thing, a part of the CRM program. You know how when you order pizza, I love pizza.
Yeah,
when you order pizza, you can track, say, oh, they're right there. They're like right around the corner.
Oh, that's
we can do that now.
Oh,
so when we hit on my way, 10 minutes go by, you're like, oh, I wonder how far. You look,
that's the future, man. And like, that's that warm, fuzzy feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're getting that, like, I wonder what they're going to be here. Oh, I got to, you know.
There's no more wonder.
I got to put pants on or, you know.
Yeah. So it's going to do all of that. So the GPS.
Or if they like the picture, take them off. No.
Yeah. Depending.
You can swipe your tech. No, I don't like it.
I want to track everything. Track where we're getting more calls from.
Wow.
So I can spend more money advertising in that direction, or I want to try this direction. All trial and error.
So I'm thinking once you get your affiliate link with the CRM, then we'll tell them what it is. No, we
can't. That's how.
Dude, man, this sounds awesome. I want to learn more about it.
I'm pumped because I knew it was there, but once again, I was just like, you know what we're doing is working. And, you know, I'm like, okay, 2023 is coming. How do I be, like, this is the best year I've never imagined I would have done a year like this.
Epic.
But now I'm like, I know I can beat it.
Yeah.
Like, I just know it. It's gonna happen, but now I'm working different avenues of how am I gonna make that happen?
Yeah.
How am I gonna make sure that my technicians and the office staff can reach their goals, like Richie was saying, because they have goals and I want them to achieve them within my goals. I could have stayed in the van and I could have been happy, I could have been content, but it's not about me, it's about us. So how can I be that leader to make sure we're all fulfilling those dreams?
Man, that's what it's about, guys, man. And like, I've said it before and I'll say it again, man, these are the kind of people that I want to be around. These are the stories, man. These are the things that bring your life to the next level. And I mean, it's easy to want to, but these are the kind of people that have done it. You know, everybody wants something better, but then they get scared. I think that's what held me back for so long.
Fear.
You know, like I've always wanted, and then, you know, just a couple years ago, the same thing, or content.
Yeah, being content.
But content is almost like negotiating with yourself to make yourself think that it's enough.
Yeah. And I did it for so
long.
You
know, yeah. It's like being content is like you justifying why you don't want to do more.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Boils down to fear.
Yeah.
You're justifying why you don't want to do more because
you're scared.
You're scared.
That's it.
And don't let fear, you know, stop you from capitalizing on opportunity.
Yes, man.
We just did another thing. We got this voice over IP thing, right? To where every single computer downstairs, when the customer calls, there's press 1 for sales, press 2 for service.
Okay.
You can forward each call. Every single one of them will ring. So if this one's busy, this one can answer it.
Okay.
We've been working off of cell phones.
Wow.
A cell phone, 2 cell phones. But now every single person is able to
crushing it.
Yeah. But it's like it's necessary.
Yeah, you're hitting the point now to where like, okay, 2's not enough.
Because we're on the phone booking and beep, it's a cell phone.
Yeah.
Now there's none of that. It's music behind the scenes.
Nice.
I'm gonna hire a promoter.
Yes.
That's gonna go out to all these events like you do.
Yeah.
They're gonna go out to these events as the face of Holts.
Like your marketing kind of.
Because that's something I haven't
I
done.
think they call them. Yeah. Yes, one of the things I'm really looking to get into. I'm every week looking to networking events, community events. You know, like, hey, if I got nothing going on, what is it to pay? $50 for a booth or $100 for a booth to get there and be around a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
And you know, for what we do, man, it's us, man. You are your business. You know, you hire your people. You know, like, you know how awesome you want everything to be, and people get that from you. People get that from you when they talk to you, and then your people out there. You know, it's like, it's a beautiful thing. And it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to get their business out in that way. But for me, I'm glad you're saying that, because it's kind of where I'm getting with mine as well.
Yeah.
Like, man, you know, let's talk to people face to face, and you know, it's just a whole other avenue, which is really cool.
Look, back up 1 second. If you're in business and you don't want your business to be out in front, you need to go work for somebody else.
Yeah.
You're right. You're wasting and you're spinning your wheels, and you need to be front and center with everything you do.
Yeah.
And I'm actually introvert, don't like to be around crowds, but now I'm pushing myself to be out doing videos on Facebook, getting out wherever I can and putting my name out, doing video,
You're crushing it, dude. I see it.
whatever I can, you know what I mean? And some people may take that as egotistical or no, it's business. I need to get my name out. I need people to know our story, and that's what our job is the entrepreneur.
I was always so scared before, and I don't want people to think that I'm talking about myself too much, or I don't want people to think that I'm showing off what I'm doing, but at the end of the day, man, it's not showing off, man. It's like, just look, this is what it is, you know? Like, I care about me and my family more than I care about a couple people that are gonna say that I'm full of myself, you know?
Yeah, and you're gonna get it. I have people all the time. A couple friends of mine just recently that, you know.
What do you think you are, a celebrity?
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's it. You know, I heard, you know, one of them. Don't want to mention names, but he, you know, had mentioned to one of my other people that I think I'm full of myself, and she's like, "Well, he should be."
Yeah.
You know, that was a good answer. He should be full of himself. You know.
That's it. But I love it, man. So you guys see these guys right here, man. You probably remember we're working on something ourselves, the Real Talk Power Group RPG. So give them
Power Group.
Yes, give them a little idea of. I know we talked about it before. Give them a little idea of what we've been working on and what they're going to get out of this.
So we're shooting some podcasts. We're going to be interviewing other entrepreneurs and giving some business tips and maybe teaching some of our systems and stuff like that. We've been recording some episodes. We're trying to get them all together. And then we'll start releasing them on a consistent date every week. Once they get going, put them out on YouTube. Try to just get some other people out there that are like-minded to come in, talk with us, and maybe share their secrets, if you will, with other up-and-coming entrepreneurs. I'm excited about it.
Challenges, you know, mindset, all of those things, man, which is, you know, it's a huge part of all our lives, man. So, you know, if it's something that interests you guys, look out. RPG, the Real Talk Power Group, man. It's gonna be real talk, you know, real situations. Real life, man, and then business. You know, it's just business and life, man. It's a beautiful thing, and it's stuff that crosses my mind all day. It's all I think about. My life and business and how it goes together, you know?
So I posted something on my Facebook about pretty much like that. Like, hey man, this new year's got me hyped. I'm so excited for what can I do to get better. Like, I'm never content. No matter where I'm at in life, I'm just never content. And then some people were like, well, you should take a step back and just be thankful. I'm extremely thankful because I know where I came from. So the thankful, I'm blessed. Like, those thoughts never go because I know it can be taken away. But I also know I'll rebuild it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like those the outside noise, like, oh, you should be thankful, or you should just, it's like basically just stop.
They're projecting.
Yeah, just stop where you're at and just stay.
Yeah.
Be content.
And that's okay.
I can't.
That's okay for
that's for them.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, that's not like we're going back. You know, that's people projecting. Yeah. You know, if they're gonna say, you know, I've put up stuff out that's, you know, motivational, and like, I want more, and going there like, well, you need to think about people that can't. You know, like,
but they can.
But they can. Everybody gets the same 24 hours in a day. All I say.
Man. I'm nobody special, man.
Never had money. You never had an education. You know, was addicted to drugs and alcohol. Went into the system and gotten arrested and done everything bad. And I could do it.
Yeah.
You got the same 24 hours I did.
That's it, man.
So why can't you do it, you know?
And that's what it's about, guys. We're gonna end on a positive note, man. Just, I was gonna curse. Just freaking do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's about, man. This year, you know, it's really, we're all looking to take everything to the next level. Want you guys to be a part of it. Any likes, any comments, any shares, tell people about this. Tell anybody that you think is gonna be interested on hearing about this, hearing about business, hearing about how we did it, hearing about how other people did it and how we're doing it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like this is where I wanna end up, and I feel like I'm barely just starting this right here, but it feels so good, you know? It's all about that journey, man.
Yeah,
so
It's addicting.
yeah, man. Yeah. So you guys, man, thank you all for hanging with us. Once again, Richie, Leak Busters Roofing, Holts Reliable Garage Door. Guys, we'll see you soon.
All right, peace out.